Alright, today was another awesome example to show these little cloud zippers. See, often when I see these kind of glowing clouds that almost look like ionized gas, which that's pretty much what they are, if you can zoom in far enough, then you can actually see what's inside them. This is definitely not meant for a cell phone. If you have a computer monitor, TV, go ahead and sit cross-legged about 5 feet in front of it. That'd be the best to observe these little guys, because they're small, they're fast, and basically what I'm doing is I'm using my $400 Amcrest 1080p security camera that's got 20x zoom. It's got a varifocal lens, so I can basically manually adjust the focus. So when I zoom in, I'm basically manually adjusting that focus until I can key them in, basically, for how far away they are. They're definitely not in front of the camera. There are probably the occasional bugs that fly in the groups or past the groups, but these little things that I'm pointing at are something else. As you can see, they do some kind of, I don't know, it's like a dark energy beam, basically, that goes vertically straight to the ground, straight to Earth. It's almost like a ground, or has something to do with their propulsion, how they're getting their energy. But you'll see these vertical kind of like lines, distortions popping up all over, up and down, up and down. I mean, it's just everywhere. There's these little vertical, almost transparent lines, or dark lines, which are basically coming from the hundreds of these things that are filling these clouds, and they're making contact with Earth somehow. But it's almost like they're part of the clouds. They're moving them, keeping things in order as they pass through our atmosphere. I'm not sure, but whenever I do start seeing them, one or two, then I basically get on this camera. I'll zoom in to basically the coolest looking part of the sky, and that's usually where these guys are zipping around. That's kind of why I call them zippers, because they just zip around faster than we can see. But this camera does have a pretty good ability to see them. And of course I can zoom in and slow down. But they're definitely not bugs. They're like transparent shadow dots. Sometimes when you get close enough, they look like little black cubes. Other times they're like little transparent shadow discs, shadow spheres. And they move as though they have negated gravity. I mean, there's freaking hundreds, thousands of them probably. If I had a better camera, there'd probably be millions of them in there. We really just can't see them with our eyes. I mean, it literally takes a fine-tuning of my focus to really pick up, the bulk of them like this. Because when I zoom all the way into a cloud, my camera wants to automatically bounce back and forth between focus, trying to autofocus in on the cloud without enough, not zoom back enough to where it actually has something it can focus in on. So I'll basically take over with my manual focus and kind of fine-tune forward or back until basically they appear. And then usually when I get it keyed in, they just swarm. They leave those little black lines that go straight down to the ground, and you'll see those things. They're everywhere. I thought it was a distortion or maybe something because I had the camera too dim. But I have a feeling it's basically coming from these little guys as they swarm around these clouds, moving them, flowing in them. Maybe there's some kind of... Fuck, I don't know. I'm not even going to speculate. I just know they're not bugs. But they're always in these key areas of these clouds. Like, you'll see this bright glowing cloud, kind of like this one. And so you'll see a kind of a dark spot in the center of it, or just a dark spot somewhere that just doesn't look like, just a break in the clouds. It looks like something's behind it, maybe. That's usually where they're concentrated. They follow the larger objects, asteroids. They follow behind them, I don't know, cleaning up their mess, or maybe it's their debris, getting magnetically bounced around, Earth's magnetosphere. It's ever-changing magnetic filament lines. Sometimes it seems like they get charged up and they shoot away. Other times it seems like they get stuck. They're bouncing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then finally they break away and just shoot away. They have a weird motion to them. It's definitely anti-gravitic in nature. Kind of like two magnets, holding another magnet in the center of them, like a skee ball, bouncing back and forth, back and forth. It's kind of like that. These objects are bouncing back and forth between two magnetic forces with zero inertia. But whenever the sky is interesting like this, and the sky is kind of glowing, kind of like it looks like it's ionized, these guys are usually in there somewhere, if you can get in close enough. And you can see them. Every time I see a bug, I can easily see the wings. But these things, no. They have no wings. Some of them do. There's different kinds. Pardon me, I'm eating some Rocky Road. This is my entertainment. I see like a red sphere cloud. It just looks like it's surrounding something. These guys are usually in the center of it, flying around it. Just try it one time. You get a sunset like this or sunrise, get a nice camera or even a crappy one, zoom in and just play with your focus in and out until you kind of key in, and just look for them. You'd be surprised how many of them are really up there that you just are completely oblivious to. Like, they move so fast and they seem so small that scientists probably don't even pay attention to them. They probably don't even know about them. Only somebody with OCD like me, too much time on his hands, hyper focusing on this crap, ends up finding all these little things. But you can see that kind of, it's like an energetic distortion that's kind of shooting up in straight up and down lines, all the way across the screen. There's like just a bunch of them. I think that is coming from just hundreds, if not thousands, of these things up above higher. Every now and then they make contact with Earth somehow by shooting down these beams as they turn or as they maneuver. And that's kind of what you're seeing right there. And then like this right here coming up, you'll see them, they seem like they get stuck in a spiral or a vortex going straight up. See them? Almost like they got caught in a magnetic filament line or a vortex going upwards. And shooting their lines down. I mean, bugs don't do that. I hate to say it.